what's up guys, Murder of Birds here, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the last Red vs. Blue reaction video for Season 9. This is going to be my finale reaction batch for Season 9 of episodes 18, 19, and 20, finishing off the first half of the Project Freelancer story arc within the Red vs. Blue storyline for my reactions, but I'm also going to be featuring the Season 9 trailer before we get into episodes 18, 19, and 20. People had suggested to me, because a couple weeks ago I mentioned that I wanted to see the Season 9 trailer before the season ended, and some people recommended that I wait until after the heist mission batch of episodes. So that was last week's episodes 13 through 17. So this is going to be the finale reaction batch along with the Season 9 trailer, so I hope you guys look forward to that. Before we get into my pre-reaction discussions, and obviously the reaction itself, there are a couple of things that I want you guys to be aware of and know about moving forward with the end of Season 9, any Red vs. Blue videos and Ruby videos if you guys also watch my Ruby content. So the first thing I want to get into is the upcoming week. So I'm recording this episode batch right now on the 19th of July. This video actually goes up early for my early access Patreon backers over on Patreon on the 21st. However, when this hits on YouTube, it will be the 28th of July, which is the last weekend before I leave for RTX 2018. So I leave for RTX on Monday, July 30th at 7 a.m. I'm going to be at the airport, and I'm going to be in Austin, Texas from July 30th to August 6th, where RTX takes place over that weekend of the 3rd on Friday to the 5th on Sunday. So while I'm actually at RTX, obviously I'm going to be in Texas for an entire week. I'm obviously there to kind of enjoy myself, see my friends, obviously gather news and information for you guys regarding Ruby news and information for whatever they show for Volume 6, news and announcements that I can come back and kind of do a roundup discussion like I've always done in the last couple of years since I've been going to RTX. And because of that, I'm not actually going to be focusing on anything Red vs. Blue specific until I get back. Now, like I said, I get back on the 6th. The 7th is going to be kind of like a refresher, like an R&R day for me to kind of gather myself. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't get sick, because last year I went to RTX, I got sick. I was sick for 4 days after I got back from RTX, and that derailed me for a lot of the videos that I wanted to make for you guys. So, again, if I don't get sick, I will be back on the 6th. I will be taking a break on the 7th, and then after that, I'm kind of going to be in a bit of a crunch mode. I actually have 2 Ruby projects that I can't talk about right now that I'm actually working on both currently and, you know, as I'm at RTX and when I come back. On top of the fact of I'm going to be doing that news and information roundup video for anything Ruby related that's announced or revealed or shown there, along with merch, announcements, Ruby Chibi. Obviously, Genlock is going to be something that I'm going to be covering because I definitely want to look into that. And because of all of these things that are going to be happening immediately, like even before, as I'm prepping right now for RTX and after RTX, Red vs. Blue Season 10 will be a bit delayed for August. I will still be reacting to it. It is going to be the last season that I react to before it goes on hiatus for Ruby Volume 6, but I will most definitely still be reacting to Season 10 in August. I'll be able to give you guys like a better date after RTX, like once I actually know what my workflow looks like. Obviously, I want to be getting back into Ruby Chibi as well, because that's already returned and I haven't even started Season 3. I haven't even finished Season 2 or started Season 3. But the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because I know a lot of you guys are really hyped and excited for me to finish Season 9 and get into Season 10, you know, to be continuing on doing all the research and doing all of like my analytical discussions that I've been doing with you guys. Some of you guys want me to check out the soundtracks of Season 9 and Season 10. There are mini-series that I still have to check out on. There's a bunch of other extra stuff that you guys want me to look at, and this is kind of like my crunch time for RTX, and like I said, I'm going to be away. I'm going to be out of my house for a week. I'm not going to be with any of my equipment or my editing software, so it's not like I can do anything when I'm out there, right? And I kind of want to enjoy myself a little. RTX is the only kind of quote-unquote vacation time that I really ever get, especially, like I said, to see people that I really only see once a year. I maintain contact over the internet, but I only get to see once a year at RTX. So like I said, this is going to be the finale batch reactions to episodes 18, 19, and 20, as well as the trailer. Following this, there will be a little bit of a break between reaction videos. I'm still going to try to see if I can give you guys Red vs. Blue content while I'm gone. So, you know, over this next week before I leave, I'm going to be crunching and getting a lot of videos backlogged and prepped so I can schedule uploads for you guys while I'm away. But for Red vs. Blue Season 10, you guys are just going to have to wait a little bit after RTX for me to get out my Ruby news and information videos for RTX, as well as the 2 additional Ruby project videos that I'm working on. But know and understand and trust me when I say that Red vs. Blue Season 10 will be happening in August. It will just be a couple weeks after RTX. So with all that information out of the way, I want to get into my pre-reaction discussion as I've been doing for Seasons 8 and 9. Of course, you guys already know I've been doing my homework over the last week of rewatching the episode, gathering my thoughts, and kind of looking into a lot of the interesting things to kind of take away from episodes 13 through 17, which was a massive reaction, 31 minutes, an entire mission sequence. Thank you again, Georgia, for clipping and splicing these episodes in particular for me to watch as a whole, because it was pretty awesome and I wouldn't have wanted any part of it to be skipped out and missed out on. So like the last episode batch, a lot has been happening, mainly with the Project Freelancer side of things of the past, with the freelancers, Dr. Leonard Church, his mission objective, and everything else like that. This is the first half of Project Freelancer for the storyline. Season 10 is going to continue that, so this is kind of the overall wrap-up of how Season 9 is going to finish off. And like I said, I'm going to be primarily focusing on the freelancer side of things. What's happening in Blood Gulch seems a little bit more minute comparatively. You know, Epsilon is still, you know, in Blood Gulch. Texas showed up. You know, they killed Lopez again, so Lopez got duped in reality, and he got duped in the memory unit. So I'm wondering what's gonna become of this whole Epsilon, you know, situation within Blood Gulch. How is Epsilon and Tex going to get out of that and be relevant to the story after, you know, this flashback kind of origin story, you know, story arc of Season 9 and 10. So we'll have to just wait and see. But getting into the actual nitty-gritty of it, so right at the beginning, I was so shocked. Alpha has been created, so I don't know the time frame. I don't know how much time has passed since the first bit of, you know, flashback that we got for Project Freelancer to where we are now, but apparently, you know, he went to the UNSC and they granted him access to the technology to be able to create this artificial intelligence based on himself, and the alpha has been created, and it's actually the full complete version. This is before pre-torture, pre-AI, you know, it's before any of that. So this is like alpha before OG Blood Gulch Chronicles Church, because the Blood Gulch Chronicles Church was the alpha, but removing all of its kind of components that made it a complete artificial intelligence. So, and he's pretty sassy too, like, right, he's talking, and it's kind of like a crazy loop, right? Like, you have the director who's talking to the alpha, but he's technically talking to a version of himself, which was kind of funny. I didn't mention that in the reaction, but going back on it and watching it again, I'm like, this guy's talking to himself, which was kind of crazy. And he's pretty sassy too. He's like, oh, you're really gonna talk to me about arrogance? So I thought that was really great. The one thing that I feel like is even worse in this situation, right, is I have not been able, by the way, I turned my AC on because my room got a little hot after that intro break off there at the beginning, so I hope you guys understand. Hopefully it's not too distracting to you guys, but anyways, so yeah, like, it feels so much worse because I've never really been able to, how do I word this? I've never been able to, I guess more so, I've detached myself from how Epsilon as a artificial intelligence would go through torture, right? Like, obviously torture, I can't imagine what torture is like because I've never been tortured. I can only, well, I guess I can't imagine it because I've never been through it, but I can only imagine what it's like, right? And I've never been able to put Alpha, this computer program, in a humane scenario where him being tortured would affect me emotionally, to see a character I love so much go through that, right? Like, I love Church, I love Epsilon, I love the Alpha, and I really like the director, and they're basically all components of each other. And hearing Alpha talk, I don't know what it is, right? I guess it's because I've seen him in a freaking floating ball. I've seen him as a member of the Blues for so long that actually seeing him in his true form, right, as a computer program for the director, hearing him talk to the director like that made it feel like he was human, right? Like, the way he talked to him, the inflection he had in his voice, the sassiness that he had going back and forth of like, oh, you're really going to talk to me about arrogance? And he was like, I would, I'm pretty sure, of course it's correct. I'm pretty sure you would have come to the same conclusion too, but a lot slower, because he's a computer and the director isn't. But like, he felt so human. He felt real. And I can definitely get behind where the chairman of the UNSC is coming from when he talks about, like, well, not necessarily that, but like the director's argument is like, I'm technically torturing myself, so you can't really charge me for any inhumane practices. But at the same time, that's not you. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going through, regardless if that's technically you, you're putting an entirely different entity in a world of hurt and a world of anguish to the point of insanity that I feel like it still should vary. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the whole thing, like if we start making robots and they become sentient and they have feelings and they express themselves, you know what I mean? Like, where do we draw the line between, where it's all right to take advantage of them and where it's all, and where it's not all right to kind of put them through stuff like inhumane practices because they're not human, because they don't bleed or whatever. So just hearing him talk to the director like that really made me feel worrisome because I know what's going to happen to him. And the worst part about that is they've made Red versus Blue so much more lifelike, right? Like, we see blood, we see people getting thrown and tossed and shot and, thrown off buildings and just decimated in so many ways that I feel like if we do see Alpha or hear Alpha even being tortured, it's going to have that cringy, like, gut-wrenching feel of like, this is wrong. And again, I love Alpha. I absolutely adore, and I love his character so much, and I'm looking forward to it, especially seeing more of Epsilon, because that's kind of like the last of the fragments that we have of the Alpha at this point. But like, I don't know, it felt very real to me that like, holy shit, like, he feels very real as a character, and he's about to go through some hurting. And it sucks too because right now he's very much oblivious to all of that, right? Like, and I'm just thinking too, like, what could the director be thinking about doing this, But yeah, like, I was just really shocked to find out that Alpha was created at this point. It seems like things are moving very quickly. I'm pretty sure we're not getting cut-to-cut moments. Obviously, there are a bit of time gaps in between. But yeah, like, Alpha has been created. He's his full self, so that means he has the logic of Delta. He has the anger of Omega. He has the deceit of Gamma. He has the memories, of Epsilon that become, like, all of those components are a part of him. So he's a full, complete being before those parts then get fragmented off and turned into their own AI, which I'm assuming is going to be happening in season 10 in the second half of Project Freelancer. Also, really quick, why is the director like hiding these AI from the freelancers, right? And I say that because, right, Carolina like showed up behind him, and Alpha was like, oh, you got a visitor. He's like, log off. And he was like really quiet, but he's like, log off. He's like, yo, way ahead of you, which technically you weren't ahead of him because you had to say way ahead of you and then you logged off after the fact that he already said log off. So I get the idea, Alpha, but yeah, like, anyways, so yeah, like, I'm wondering why he's hiding it from them when eventually he's going to integrate the Alpha into the project, into his freelancers. So, and that's the same thing too, because like Carolina seems to be putting the pieces together a little bit, at least, like, not putting them together, but she's a little like aware, like, or suspicious, because like in the previous batch of episodes, like with Tex in the training simulation, she was like sparking and she was like, oh, interesting, you know what I mean? So it seems like she's like a very observant, excuse me, I feel like she's very observant as opposed to everybody else around. And then like when the director was walking away, she like turned around and looked where Alpha was. So it seems like she's a little wary of things right now, which is interesting. Moving on from that, obviously we get into the whole heist mission and everything like that. Apparently there are UNSC insurrectionists. So she basically said members of the UNSC who like in support of the insurrection. So are these members of the same UNSC that the Oversight Subcommittee chairman of the UNSC operates under. You know what I mean? Like, is the same dude that was going through the memos with the director the same guy that's like handling these goons? I don't, or maybe these guys were UNSC, but they're like renegade, right? Like they're kind of like they gone AWOL or whatever. Because she mentioned like members of the UNSC, and I remembered, okay, we have Project Freelancer, we have the UNSC, and we also have Project Freelancer, UNSC, and Charon Industries. These are the three kind of establishments that are within the universe so far, and there is an insurrection in one of these. So it must be the UNSC at this point, or Charon Industries, or whatever the case might be. So I'm just wondering, like, are these kind of like AWOL people who are part of the UNSC, but are also for this uprising of government authority? So there's that. Another thing that I wanted to get into was the sarcophagus. So that is the primary objective that they're like this whole mission batch is about, right? Like they've located this high priority object. We don't know what it is. It's called the sarcophagus. We find out like it's this giant, almost like a sarcophagus, right? A sarcophagus is a steel coffin, usually used like in ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome. Like they put like mummies and pharaohs and stuff like that, and valuables and stuff like that for them to take with them to the afterlife and all that jazz. But I'm wondering, how is this relevant to Project Freelancer? Right? What is in the sarcophagus? So like I said, sarcophaguses usually hold like dead bodies and stuff like that. I doubt there's like a dead body in there, but like obviously it was also created by Charon Industries, which was out in that research facility out in the ocean that the twins went after during the first batch of episodes that I watched. And so they ended up creating that. They got the data file, which then told them where the sarcophagus was being held. And apparently Charon Industries is semi-influencing Project Freelancer. I don't know if this has anything. So like, what I'm thinking is that Alpha, how do you split an AI, right? I don't think they ever explained how, like, right, you can't copy an AI, right? You can only create ones, and they were only given access to one AI, right? They were given access to eventually what became of Alpha. So you can't copy an AI, but you can splice one. But how do you splice one, right? Is whatever is in the sarcophagus the means to then create the other AI? And again, like I say, I'm only saying that because the Alpha is still put together. He doesn't seem to be in any distress, doesn't seem to have gone through any torture, and there are no other AI fragments around yet until the second half. And if he does, it seems like they obviously, by the end of the mission, they ended up securing the sarcophagus and the key codes to open the sarcophagus. So I'm wondering if we're going to end up finding out whatever's inside of it. Are we going to see what's inside of it? Also, they were being very cryptic about the sarcophagus as well, right? The director and the counselor, they were like, we know what the contents of the sarcophagus is, but we don't know how big the sarcophagus is. So that's kind of like, do you know what it is or do you not know what it is? And more importantly, like, what is it? Is it a piece of technology? Is it a program? Is it another, like, AI? You know what I mean? Like, what is inside of this thing that's being safed away in this, like, building, this 120-story building that you need to, like, break in, risk your freelancers losing their lives over it. You know what I mean? So that's all I really kind of have about the sarcophagus, what's inside of it, and how is it connected to Project Freelancer and the AI. And the only thing I can really have is maybe it is a component that is needed to then create the other AI that are then fragmented from Alpha, but we'll have to wait and see. The next thing I want to get into really quick is the ranking. So during my reaction, I noticed that York actually got demoted from rank 2 to rank 6. This guy went down 4 ranks over the fact that I believe he didn't cooperate with his teammates, which technically he shouldn't have been faulted for that, because out of him, Maine, and Wyoming, he was the only one that was trying to be team-oriented, and the fact is the other two were just too gung-ho. They didn't want to stick around and, kind of play as a team, and he also lost an eye, so that obviously, is going to diminish his quality as a freelancer. He's missing an eye, no depth perception, limited vision, all that other stuff that comes with that. So he ended up getting demoted to rank 6, which I was really, really upset about, because he seems the most resourceful out of all of the freelancers that I've seen so far, obviously besides Carolina. But the more shocking part of that was Agent South, who actually isn't even on the mission, and I can understand where the director's coming from with this, right, because she kind of blew their cover. I'm actually surprised that the insurrectionists weren't more prepared, especially since they seem to be a subsidiary of Charon Industries. They didn't seem to be prepared for the fact that, like, oh shit, our base in the ocean just got attacked, so we got to be more on guard. It wasn't until the alarm went off that they realized, holy shit, we're being invaded. Go check out the vault and, defend it or whatever. So I can understand the fact that South is very gung-ho as well. She's reckless. She doesn't like listening and following rules, right? Unlike her, who she didn't set her motion trackers, York actually did during the mission, and that's what was also able to kind of keep them safe and know when enemies were on their way. Whereas, if South did that, things would have been fine for their mission, but she kind of blew their cover. So I think, again, that's going to spiral her into this downward spiral of like corruption and negativity because of the fact that she's being ostracized from her peers. Again, she's not going to end up getting an AI when everybody else is being handpicked and given an AI after Alpha gets tortured. She's not going to get one. She eventually is going to resent the project, the director, her brother. She's going to lead him to get killed and, so on and so forth. I've already been through this, but I kind of thought it was crazy that we're actually seeing that. Like, the director's like, you're not going on this mission, go do something else. And it's like, fuck, like, that's like the worst thing you can do for her, because that's what's going to develop her character into this kind of cynical individual by the end of it. So again, I was really shocked to see that South is being reprimanded even more severely now because of her past failures. Again, York got ranked 6. Maine and Carolina. Can I talk about this dynamic duo? So I'm not really going to be able to talk necessarily about the action of everything that happened, because everything was happening so fast and it was flashing back and forth between Blood Gulch and the past events with the freelancers. But I think I think they work really well together, and I gotta give it up to Maine, right? Like, again, I kind of viewed him as the meta, so he was very one-dimensional to me. Obviously for season 6, 7, and 8, because A, he never talked. We now know why. He got shot in the throat like 9 times, and he got a sniper shot through the chest. He got tossed off of the freaking. He got tossed off of one truck, freaking slammed into another, fell off of the overpass. I don't even know. Obviously he survives, but like, I just don't know how. I have no idea how this dude survived everything, based on the fact that should have killed anybody else. But I think it's because maybe Maine has that resilience, right? Maybe he's the tank of the group, you know what I mean? And maybe that just shows as well. Really quick, are freelancers like Spartans? Like, I feel like, because aren't Spartans like, they're like human or like kids when they're young, and then they're adapted into super soldiers. I don't know if they're like injected with anything, but I'm pretty sure Spartans go through like enhancements that make them stronger and bigger and faster than the average human. I don't know if the freelancers are given any similar treatment in that regard to make them stronger, faster, not smarter, but stronger, faster, more resilient, more durable than the average person. So maybe that's why, but I was very shocked to see how much that guy was taking a beating. And the fact of like, okay, well, we know he survives because this is a prequel story and he's in season 6 through 8, which make me wonder now if he's actually dead at post season 8, because again, it was just the fact of like, okay, this guy has only been around for 3-4 seasons, right? Like, he was in the mini-series, then we saw him in season 6, 7, and 8. So the reason why I initially thought, yeah, there's no way Maine is dead, is because he's the antagonist and we haven't seen him that much. Then, when you put into perspective the fact that, no, he's been around for years, we just never saw him, makes me feel like he's actually gone for good for season 8, which is pretty insane of how much this guy's been through and how much he's taken physically and probably mentally, and emotionally, and, for everything, for being in this freelancer group and being used and abused throughout the years, to where it took the Reds, the Blues, Tex, and Washington to take him down. And the Puma. Let's not forget the Puma that was sacrificed to take him down. So he's very deserving if he ends up becoming on that list, right, and I think him and Wyoming got upgraded on the list after that training simulation as well with Tex, because they were resourceful and they had ingenuity and you know, and stuff like that. So I do personally feel as though, you know, his placement on the list and the fact that he ends up getting an AI is definitely rightfully earned, especially since he sacrificed a lot during this mission. And the fact that he no longer talks is definitely evident of the fact that he got shot in the chin once, and then the guy slammed him on the ground and then shot him like another 8-9 times in the throat. And I think he also got shot with the sniper in the chest and knocked off of off of the truck, and then slammed into oncoming traffic and then knocked off at the overpass. So I just don't know how the hell that guy's not dead, but he's not dead, which is good. But again, and he spoke very briefly too. It's like, we got a few, like, he's a man of few, like, where the phrase comes from, a man of few words, that's Maine in a nutshell. So I give it up to him 100%. Carolina too. You know, she's number one for a reason, or I don't think she's gonna be number one after this batch, but she's number one for a reason. Obviously, her and Maine's dynamic during that entire highway chase scene was just a spectacle. That's all I can really say. Like, I've watched that scene so many times. Like, just that one scene of that, like, from the time that they start fighting the, you know, the dudes with the jetpacks, and, you know, York on the you know, York and Maine driving the Warthog, and just everything. It was just an absolute spectacle, and I loved it. What I'm also wondering is regarding Wyoming, North, and CT, because they failed their objective. So Team A did that entire mission by themselves. Well, technically, Tex did everything. She kind of cleaned up everyone's mess. She was technically the one that made sure the sarcophagus got into the airship, right? Because Carolina was falling down with it too, and they got blasted away, and Tex just showed up with the jetpack, got it in there, was like, get this thing out of here, and then she switched gears, got on her motorcycle, and secured the key code, you know, as her and Carolina were trying to have that feud at the end. So Tex really came through for everyone. I'm just wondering, rank-wise, what's going to happen with CT, North, and Wyoming, because they failed their objective. And lastly, like I just kind of briefly mentioned, Texas versus Carolina. A little different than what I was initially hoping. I wish we got to see like fisticuffs, like hand-to-hand combat for these two, because that's where I really want to see who excels. But after this especially, I do think Tex would beat Carolina, just because Tex is a little broken, and she's an AI supercomputer, and technically she is unfair in the grand scheme of, you know, all of these other freelancers who probably don't know that yet. And here's an interesting thing that I thought too, something that may have tipped the scale at the beginning, for Carolina to have eventually won over Tex and got the key codes. Check it out.
Roger that. Team A is moving.
Copy that, Carolina. Good luck, Team A.
Thanks. We won't need it.
Excellent work, Agent Texas.
Thank you, sir. Better luck next time, Carolina.
All she had to do was accept the good luck at the beginning. You know, they were like, good luck. She's like, thanks, we won't need it. And then she ends up losing to Tex, and Tex is like, better luck next time. It's like, damn, that luck at the beginning, if you just accepted it, that could have changed the scale of everything, which was interesting. We also got to see what Carolina looks like. So really quick, I just want to give notice to this as well, because some people were a little confused of why I mentioned Allison. I think some people thought I was talking about the director's wife, Allison, which I wasn't. So I mentioned this in a previous batch, and I'm assuming the people who are confused about it, just, I don't know if they don't watch all of this, you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't expect you to watch it all at once, but in a week's time, I'm pretty sure some people can just sit through or just watch fragments of this video. But I mentioned that Carolina looks like Allison because my friend Allison, who I met in 2016, she ended up cosplaying as Carolina. That's how I knew about Carolina's armor and her color and stuff like that before I saw her in the show. And I was like, she looks just like Allison. So Carolina literally looks like my friend Allison when she's cosplaying as her. She has the natural red hair and everything, the exact same length. The armor is accurate to a T, and she has the helmet and everything. So that's kind of what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the director's wife. Obviously, I'm not talking about the director's wife. We've never even seen what she looks like. So that's kind of the little bit of clarification that I wanted to have for anyone who was confused for when I mentioned that. And then lastly, kind of just mentioning all of this as a whole, cinematography for these batches were probably the best that I've ever seen in Red vs. Blue. The entire highway chase scene, fight scene with Maine and Carolina was one consecutive shot. No jump cuts, no hard edits. Like, everything was, like, the camera did all the work. And I think that was absolutely incredible. And I highly implore Rooster Teeth, I don't know, and this is what's crazy to me, right? It's crazy to me how much of an influence Monty had on Red vs. Blue. It pains me to say that. I almost feel like he was a one-man army when it came to these kind of scenes, because it's like none of this is carried over or replicated in Ruby, especially. And, you know, I just kind of wonder how that is possible. You know what I mean? How it's possible that one man could... I don't know if he was like the infrastructure and everybody else worked around him. But it's kind of crazy how none of these traits that are very evident in the work that Monty did transitioned over after his passing for people who kind of worked alongside him, you know? That one single shot was jaw-dropping. Like, to realize that everything I'm seeing is being elevated by the camera angle and the and you know, and the twists of the camera and everything, like, that made the scene amazing. Instead of cutting, everything was happening in sync with each other, and it was just the camera capturing the different angles, kind of giving you the full picture, which I thought was absolutely incredible. Choreography, what can you say? Classic Monty to a T. Everything is crisp, everything has weight to it, everything is impactful and has impact, and it just works, you know, and it's just really, really high detail for classic Monty stuff. And then music, kind of wrapping up the discussion overall. I am definitely looking into doing a season 9 soundtrack reaction. It will not be a live stream because I don't want to be spoiled on anything, so I will most likely buy the soundtrack on iTunes, listen to it, and like do everything that I would normally do in a live stream, but just record myself instead of having it live and then uploading it for you guys to kind of get my overall thoughts. So the song that we ended up hearing, I think it's called Falling Towards the Sky, and Casey Lee Williams and Lamar Hall were on that track, which is pretty crazy. Especially, again, because Casey was so young back then. She was like 12 or 13 when Red vs. Blue Season 9 was out. And then also Lamar Hall. That's the first time I think we're hearing Lamar within the Rooster Teeth community because of Red vs. Blue, you know, and, you know, his collaboration with Jeff, and, you know, the rest is history, you know, because they become a part of the Ruby soundtracks and stuff like that, you know, them three and Alex and everybody else. So that was absolutely incredible. So I am definitely looking into doing a Season 9 soundtrack reaction. I don't know when I'll do it. I don't know if I'll be able to get it out before Season 10, but Season 9 and Season 10 soundtracks I'll definitely be looking into. I have not listened to any of the music on its own, so I will be listening to the music in full for the first time when I listen to these soundtracks, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. But overall, episodes 13 through 17 were a spectacle. There's nothing more I can say about it. It was really, really fun to watch, especially more fun to watch it back by myself because I could repeat and rewind as much as I want and just like, how the hell is this possible? Like, this is Red versus Blue, and it's crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy. This is definitely the pinnacle of the show for me so far. And like I said, we have the rest of this reaction to finish up episodes 18, 19, 20, as well as the trailer reaction, and then we have the second half of Project Freelancer. So those are all of my general thoughts, impressions, analysis, speculations of Season 9, episodes 13 through 17. We're going to be getting into the last few episodes of the finale for Season 9. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Leave your thoughts in the comments as always, and without further ado, let us begin. Alright guys, we're going to be starting Red vs. Blue. This is going to be the last batch of reactions for the Season 9 batch with episodes 18, 19, 20, and I'm actually going to be including the Season 9 trailer at the beginning. I know majority of people have already told me that it's ruled out as non-canon here, but for the sake of adding it in for the Season 9 experience, I decided to do that. Apparently, there still are some tie-ins to what is actually considered canonical right now, and a lot of you guys told me to feature this after episode 17, so after the heist mission. So I actually have no idea what to look forward to. Also, in regards to trailers as a whole, I prefer to kind of stay away from spoilery trailers. Usually, if I'm catching up with something, I stay away from trailers overall. I prefer to see whatever is offered to me in the actual show itself. But if I am caught up on stuff, obviously trailers are what kind of builds up hype and builds up anticipation. So in this regard, you know, that's the reason why I'm watching it so late. And I don't know if I'm going to watch any of the other trailers because I know a lot of them get into heavy spoiler territory, unlike, you know, the Season 6 trailer or the Season 7 trailer, which were like episode 0 and, you know, respectively. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys so much for your support. I hope you guys enjoyed the last batch reactions for a while. And without further ado, we're going to be starting this in 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, you got the Project Freelancer music. Ooh, extraction vehicle, angel on my shoulders. Yeah, that's really loud.
Negative on the modify, angel on my shoulder.
Okay, so this is not canon.
Requesting clearance to dock.
Look, if you try auto-docking at that speed, you're gonna have a lot more engine on board 47. Throttle down.
Huh.
Requesting clearance to manual dock set. Patient is critical. Need to offload ASAP.
Oh, patient is critical. Oh, this is after the mission. This is after the mission.
Not allow for manual docks. Throttle down or spin to a go-round. It's your choice.
Negative on the go-round, Angel.
This isn't a military dock, 47. We're civilian medical on loan to the UNSC.
You try manual
UNSC.
docking, you'll tear a hole in
Not
the...
my call, Angel. Patient is level 0.
Level 0.
Zero?
That means...
confirmation for that 47.
Angel on my shoulder. This is Director Chuck.
Oh yeah, this is definitely not canon. When the hell's the director ever on
Our
board?
situation is rather dire.
Is it Maine?
You are
It's
cleared for
Maine.
docking bay 6, manual control. Proceed with caution.
I'll prep the patient.
Well, I guess so much for our go-round.
I heard that 479er.
Yep, that's because I transmitted it.
Yo, 479er, I fucking love her. She eventually becomes like the voice of the command center, so glad to see she's still around. She's seen a lot then. Wow, this is kind of loud. So is this this is because of Maine? You took a fucking beating, buddy. 8 to 9 shots to the throat.
Was that
a sniper to the
we picked up
chest.
this beacon. At least we know that system works.
Oh,
Do you
the
know that?
recovery beacon. Oh yeah, that's
I know we
right.
will.
That's how they found him after he got rammed off the freaking overpass.
Medical crew only.
Typical medic bullshit.
Paging Dr. Ross.
Zero gravity surgery? What the hell? I know this isn't non-canon, but like, this could definitely be considered canon, like what they did after they brought him back. Do we get to see what he looks like? Woo!
Agent Washington, status report.
Maine was injured.
Damn.
We failed the objective.
Anything to not see
How
the
were two
director's
soldiers
face.
of your caliber possibly hurt by simulation troopers?
They got the jump on us.
Simulation?
Disappointing, but we'll deal with that after surgery.
Not canon.
Yes, sir.
Okay. They failed the mission and simulate. Yeah, I can definitely see how this is different.
How is he?
Your...
Hey, man. Not good. He was shot in the throat. The medic said even if he survives, he'll probably never talk again.
That's
How's your
canon
eye?
right there. Yep. That makes
Doctor,
sense.
Let me out tomorrow. Seems like a lot of people are getting hurt these days.
Yeah. It's just that everything seems to be moving so much more quickly now. The suits, the missions, and now these, what do they call them? AI things?
Oh!
Do you think we're moving too fast?
Oh!
The
AI!
universe is moving too fast, Wash.
No way!
I think we're just trying to keep up.
Oh my god! That's what York looks like! Before there was Red versus Blue, there was Project Freelancer. Oh my god. Yeah, and we just saw all of this. Whoa, we didn't see this? What is this? Woohoo! 2011? Well, I'm 7 years late. Alright, okay, so that was pretty dope. Alright, this is it. We're getting back into it.
You suck! Jesus, is that guy still yelling? Yes.
Griff.
He's been yelling all morning.
God, that was such a great trailer.
Stop! Oh, and how am I gonna do that? Shoot him with your sniper.
Hold on.
Never mind.
Pause. So the one thing that I will actually say is I'm glad I didn't watch that trailer first. If I watch, like, I know myself, right? If I watch a trailer, I'm going to break it down to a science, and that will I'm glad I saw the highway chase scene for the first time in its full sequence, rather than seeing it in a trailer. Obviously, my experience is a little different because I'm catching up to the show. So, like I said at the beginning, if I'm caught up with a show, trailers are absolutely fine. But if I'm catching up to a show, I typically stay away from trailers just so I can, because all of the stuff is there for me to kind of get into. So, I could have just watched season 9 in of itself. Also, I was really wowed for the first time of seeing the new animation and stuff like that, whereas I think this is what a lot of people saw before season 9 came out. So they actually already had an anticipation of what the new animation style would be like. And seeing, freelancers with their helmets off and stuff like that. So we've seen what York looks like. We've seen what Carolina looks like. We've seen what we've seen what CT looks like, what North and South look like as well. We don't know what Maine looks like, Wyoming, obviously Texas an outlier in the situation, and obviously I don't think we're ever going to see what any of these guys look like because, I think someone actually told me that Bernie said he'll never reveal what these guys look like because everyone has their own perception of what they look like. So to prevent that from kind of getting in the way, and plus it's great to show all of the freelancers what they look like because they're all dead now. So it's not like that'll ever need to be brought up again. So yeah, I did like that trailer, and obviously a lot of things are still canonical. You have Maine getting shot, wounded, the fact that he'll never speak again. Washington briefly mentioned AI, which is what we're most likely going to be getting into in the second half of the season. So, while directly it's not canonical, there are still little bits and pieces there that, I can definitely... that surgery happened, essentially. That's how they saved him. That's how he's still alive to this day. That's why he doesn't speak anymore. So, certain things you can take as canon. So, I'm just happy that I didn't watch that trailer reaction. I'm sorry, I didn't watch the trailer before I watched Season 9. So, anyways, we're going to be continuing 3, 2, 1, now.
I realize how stupid that sounded.
And earthquakes are still happening.
You still suck! Yeah, you fucking piece of shit!
Alright.
What the hell are you
Labor
doing
Pains,
up here?
episode
I'm doing
18.
My job, Simmons? I'm working on my part of the plan? I thought your part of the plan was
harassing
to
the
build a bomb.
blues?
Yeah, but I don't know how to build a bomb. Yeah, I know that.
A bomb? Where's Andy?
So, I'm yelling at the blues.
Yeah, they should have added Andy in this.
Suck! Until I make them mad enough to bomb our base. Idiots! So, not only will they make me a bomb, I'll get them to deliver it. For free.
Yeah.
You guys are lame! I hate you!
That is actually the most sensible part of this plan I've heard so far.
Really?
Your years of laziness have finally paid off in full, Private Griff. Thank you very much, Private Simmons. Now, if you'll excuse me,
I gotta get back to work.
A cunt, as you were, soldier.
Hey,
Jesus.
You! Yeah, you dumb cunts! You suck! Hey, up there!
That's like the wrong person you want to say that to, buddy.
How bad you suck? Because that's what I'm doing! I'm talking about it right here! Only louder!
No.
Way louder! Because I'm yelling,
You're gonna get shot in the head, dude.
Blue team sucks! Hey, blue team! Why are you so sad?
Fuck you! Blue team's better than red team.
So bad?
Don't at me.
It might be!
That's it. I'm taking those fuckers out.
Yeah, please.
Get my toolkit.
Woo! Success!
Oh, God. Oh, they did it!
That is my bomb. You guys
Andy?
have an
Is that
empty
you?
robot kit, so I used the parts from it to make this bad boy.
Oh, robot kit, right?
Interesting.
We don't need that now because I never died.
Oh, that's right.
That was Andrew Smith's job. Stop it. This thing
Andrew
doesn't look
Smith.
like a bomb. It looks like a basketball. Oh, yeah? Well, you don't...
Oh, Andy!
You dickhead.
No
Looks like a basketball.
way!
Sounds like a fucking asshole. Great.
Oh, my God! He's
It has a power
back!
unit, so now it can talk.
In other words, if you want me to blow stuff up, you're gonna have to blow me first. Well, he's pleasant.
What do you
Oh,
expect?
my
He's a
goodness
bomb.
gracious.
You want him to be polite, or you want him to kill stuff?
I want him to shut up. Anybody care what I want? How about Tucker's mother polishing me 24? Fuck this, I'm out. Out! Just like I got out of your sister. Hey, fuck you,
Oh,
bowling
my
ball.
God.
Let's plant this bad boy.
Holy shit, he's
don't forget to
back.
lift your legs, Jack.
I was like, he's still a part of the memories, so why isn't he here yet?
I know I said I was leaving.
Wow.
But that was actually a really good burn.
Fucking Andy.
Today is the day that will carry us to victory against the planet.
Can't fight a planet.
Now, I know there's been naysayers along the way. Thankfully,
Simmons.
We haven't listened to Simmons. We stuck to the plan.
Yikes.
Donut, do we have our drilling spot?
Ready for action, sir.
Excellent. Griff, is the bomb ready?
Should be here.
Should be getting here any minute.
Perfect. And
It actually worked. Everything worked for him.
To the center of the Earth.
Oh my god.
Planet.
Wow! It's huge! You built that?
You know it.
Sarge, even I have to admit that that's pretty amazing.
You know what's even more
I
amazing?
don't know if that's
None of us saw it
practical.
until he pointed it out to us.
Thanks. It took a lot
I feel like it's gonna spin them all while they're all inside of it.
The materials to build this.
I mined them using my excavator.
What?
What?
Oh, what the heck?
How did you build that?
I didn't. I ordered it online. In our catalog.
But why don't we just, you know what?
Why
never
just
mind.
use that?
Again, I have to say, none of us saw that until he pointed it out.
All
Yeah.
right, man. It's time to put up or shut up.
Shut up.
Let's do this. Griff, we're gonna need that bomb.
Oh, text just
give me
went
a
by you, bud.
minute.
Griff, don't tell me that you didn't.
Hi there. Oh, right, there we go. One
Holy
bomb is
shit.
requested. You're welcome.
Great. I take back all the things I ever said about you, Griff.
My pleasure, sir. Tick, 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 tick.
Why is this bomb
Just
ticking?
get pissed off and self-destruct.
Right. I didn't think that part
And
of
he's
the
gonna
plan
die
was
again,
going
watch.
yet.
Like in the same episode.
We're all gonna die now.
Griff,
Yep.
take back the taking back.
Oh!
Don't let it touch anything else. Hello there. Do you know your name?
I am confused.
Delta!
That is
They started
completely
torturing
natural
Alpha!
given your state.
My state? Was I injured?
No. Do you feel as though you have been injured?
Counselor, please. Do not be concerned. You're fine. You're safe. Once again, do you know your name?
Yes. I know my name.
What is
my
it?
My name is Alpha.
No.
No!
Your name is not Alpha. You are mistaken.
They're
I'm
all
sorry.
part of the
I
same...
am confused.
Do not be concerned. This is perfectly normal given your state. Would you like to know your name?
Yes, please.
Delta.
I would like to know my name. I
Wow.
feel very confused.
They re-assimilated them.
Delta. That is your name.
Delta?
Yes. You are very wise, Delta. It is very nice to meet you.
I think I remember you.
No, you have never met us before. You did not exist before today. Today is your birthday. Today is a great day.
Do you know your name?
My name is Delta.
That is correct.
Delta,
Jesus Christ.
this is the director. He is going to take good care of you.
I'm glad to hear that.
The counselor's voice
I'm
is so
very confused.
creepy.
Don't worry, Delta. That will not last long. And when you feel better, we are going to do incredible things together, you and I. Incredible things.
30. 29.
Pause. They've already started torturing him. Wow. So does that mean York is getting the first A? I mentioned that. I was like, he lost his eye, so does that mean then he'll be bumped up to be like a taste tester of the AI because he's incapacitated to an extent? Not incapacitated, but he's you know, he obviously has limitations now because of his eyesight. Wow. So when they're all fragment, they're obviously still a part of Alpha. So they believe that their name is Alpha. They re-assimilate them to have their own identity and their own... to become their own self. Which is probably why deep down, right, like when in season 5 and 6, deep down they were all like they all still craved the Alpha AI, and that's why eventually the Alpha AI became like not a legend, but it became like a myth to them. And that's why they all yearned to find the Alpha, because that's like something that they're missing, and they're being lied to the entire time. Poor Alpha, man. And I was just talking at the beginning of the video, like when I was getting into my discussion of how like he felt so real, he felt so humane, and like that's the first of many. So we got Delta, we still need Gamma, Omega, Gamma, Omega, Sigma, the other two. So we still need like five more, I think. So 5 more processes. Fuck off. At least we're seeing the AI now because I know they're going to be relevant. I just feel so bad for Alpha right now. I wonder if we're going to see what state he's in. I really, like, with the animation they have right now and the voice acting and everything, like, it's going to be so hard to see what he's going through. All right. 3, 2, 1, now. We're halfway through.
Die! More importantly,
Hi,
I'm
Donut.
going to die. That's the worst part.
Men, remain calm.
Damn.
This is no time to panic.
25.
Delta was the first, I think.
24.
Sir, the world is shaking apart. The ground is opening up to swallow us, and we're holding a bomb that will wipe us all out before any of that happens. I submit to you that if there is a time to panic, this
Episode
is
19,
that
whole
time.
lot of shaking.
20.
Whole lot of shaking going on.
I guess
Come on over,
Does
baby.
anyone have anything they want to say?
I do.
Fallout. Shout out to Fallout music.
Such an honor. I have
Whole
so
lot
many
of shaking
people to
going
thank.
on.
All the little people.
Donut, this is not the time for your pre-rehearsed Academy Award speech.
If I don't use it now, when am I going to?
Never.
10. 9.
Oh, I've seen this before. The
It's
countdown.
been an honor to serve with you. I just say that using the loosest possible definition of both the words
What
honor
is happening
and
right
serve.
now?
6. 5.
Oh, it was good seeing you, Andy, for like an episode and a half.
4.
3.
Well, if I'm gonna
2.
die, then I may as well be honest. I never respected any of you. I thought I was better than all of you this entire time. I think my skills were underappreciated, and I wasted my life knowing all of you. In a way, I'm sad to die, but I'm glad knowing that none of you will live either. There, that's it. 1.
Jesus. Oh.
Wait.
Uh-oh. Damn, Simmons, you just let the cat out of the bag. What's up with these earthquakes?
I swear this never happens to me.
So, did you want to finish your thought there, Simmons?
Yeah, you asshole.
Well, this is awkward.
Yep.
About it. Okay, we're all set.
Okay, I'm driving.
What? Fuck no.
Oh, we're getting in Sheila? Or
I'm not coming.
Phyllis?
You're not?
Bachikabawa?
Nah, you guys go. Good luck. I don't know how much time we have left, and I think I'd rather spend it someplace I like. Oh, and if you see Agent Washington, do me a favor. Tell him I said memory is the key.
Oh!
He'll know what that
He's
means.
passing it
Oh,
on!
and also, tell him I said thanks. Good luck, guys.
Well, I'm going. You can sit around here until the world ends. But as long as I'm here, there's something I can do about it.
Oh.
Tex, I wouldn't expect anything else.
Ah, crap! This tank needs to move right now!
What is happening? Get out! Get out!
It's no use, Sarge. There's no time.
Repent! Repent! Give up your evil ways! The end is nigh!
Oh, shut up,
Donut,
Yeah.
stop!
Suddenly wanting God or something?
Yeah, I've never been much for religion, but I figure I can get in just under the wire. Why not head
No.
Calm down. The world is not ending. Everything will be just fine.
What's happening with is the memory unit like officially failing now?
But the truth is, none of
Or
us
is
are
somebody
that
trying to
cool
open it?
interesting. So get over it.
At the current rate of decay, the world will shake itself apart in just a few minutes.
Hey, does this team's health insurance plan cover the apocalypse?
Give it a rest,
I doubt
Andy.
it. Oh, we're back!
This changed again.
Woo!
Lots of things changing these days.
North and York! Damn.
We got more change on the way.
You feel it too?
Armor
You know, I felt it since
processing.
Texas showed up. And when cops and military started shooting at us, yeah. I find I just keep coming back to the same question in my head. Over and over again.
Damn.
And what question is that?
Why?
We're the good guys. Right?
Oh,
of course we are.
Shit.
You don't sound so sure of yourself.
Starting to question themselves.
No.
What's the director up to?
No, I suppose I don't.
South.
I'm trying.
CT.
I understand. I just need more time to... I have to go.
What the hell was that?
Mind your own business.
I should say the same.
Hold on. Pause. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. All right, 3, 2, 1, now.
You know, I felt it since Texas showed up. And when cops and military started shooting at us, yeah. I find I just keep coming back to the same question in my head.
Were those
Over
the
and over
insurrectionists she was
And
talking
what
to?
question is that?
We're the good guys. Right?
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah, you don't sound so sure of yourself.
Yeah.
No.
I backed up a little too much, but it's still good. Oh,
No,
actually, hold on.
I suppose I don't.
Back. Boom. The new order list. I actually missed that. Texas is #1. Wow. Wow. South is off the list, like I mentioned. So we have Texas, Carolina, York, Maine, Washington, North Dakota. And those are the only ones that got AI. She's officially off the list. Holy shit, dude. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. York actually got bumped back up. I guess after the last mission, yeah, because he was 2, then 6, now he's 3. Maine is actually on the board now. Washington got bumped up 1. Carolina, obviously, she got outbeat by Texas in the last mission, so Texas is number 1 now, obviously. No surprise there. And North Dakota is at the bottom of the top rankings, and his sister bumped off the list. Unfortunate, man. God damn, this list is changing by the day, or by the mission. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
No, I suppose I don't.
Don't. Okay, right here.
I'm trying.
I'm trying?
I understand. I just need more time to... I have to...
Pause. UNSC. The UNSC insurrectionists. I fucking knew it! I literally said last batch, like within like the hour-long discussion, I said I feel like the insurrection is going to come from the inside of Project. Like I felt like maybe they had a mole or somebody was on the inside, and that's where the insurrection was, from like the lesser freelancers. And I mentioned South and CT because they seem the most scorned out of all the freelancers that we've seen so far. And you got this fucking woman, for lack of a better term, who's... Is that why Wyoming... I'm sorry, not Wyoming. Is that why Washington said, when he was talking to York, when they were walking down before they went to go see Tex beat on the other 3 freelancers, he said, you had I heard you had a talk with a meeting with internals. He was like, no, it wasn't about you. It was about the insurrectionists and the transmissions of our blank. And that's when I was like, is there leaks? Is information being leaked out of Project Freelancer, right? Like their transmissions are going somewhere else. I don't know if that's tethered to anything, but it's very evident that she's working with those insurrectionists, because that looks like the same armor that they were wearing, and it says UNSC on the bottom corner, and that's probably what procs the chairman, the oversight subcommittee chairman of the UNSC to look into investigating the director at this point, because she got pissed. Fucking A, man. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Go. What are you looking at? Mind your own business.
I should say the same.
Jesus Christ, like, why are you mad at him for?
Punch it, Tucker! I am punching it! Well, punch it harder! That's fucking AA! Caboose is
fucking CT, man.
It's a tank, not a fucking Lamborghini!
Good luck, guys.
So,
he's leaving.
Oh, I think they might have time to squeeze in one last adventure. Can't really ask for more than that, can you?
I suppose not.
So you decided to stay?
Yeah.
Finally gave in and believed me, huh?
Not exactly. I just figured you haven't steered me wrong so far. Why bet against a streak?
You gotta stick together.
Come sit with me then. I got some great seats for the end of the world.
Okay. You sure you want to do this?
Yeah. You know, it took a couple versions of me to understand it, but I think sometimes you just gotta let go. And if you do, the things you let go sometimes come back on their own.
There you go.
Wow. Guess the theory was proven right then. Nick of time.
Yeah, I guess it was.
So, any regrets?
Yeah, a few.
Probably should have learned how to shoot this damn sniper rifle.
You guys did have a lot of downtime.
Well, the director never served in the war, so that's probably why. You never had proper training.
What can I tell you? I had other things in my mind,
I guess. Oh my god, what is happening? My freaking headset's like echo. Oh, it's opening! That's they opened the capture unit!
The atmosphere must be breaking apart.
Repent! The end is here!
Well,
Donut, stop!
Gonna catch some Z's.
Dude!
See you guys.
That's the real world!
Taking a nap.
It's how I lived, Simmons. It's how I lived.
You know, in some weird way, I actually respect that. And your Mag.
Oh, hate to say goodbye.
I guess this is it.
Hey, Tex. There's something I need to tell you.
I love you.
I think it's important that I say this.
Wait a second. Look, I can take the whole at peace with the world thing, and I can even stomach all the accept your fate
But
stuff.
not this sappy crap.
Just do me a favor, okay? Don't say goodbye. I hate goodbyes. I mean, we are space warriors, right? We should try to maintain some level of credibility.
No, Tex, no. I think I just figured out what the director couldn't. And Alpha either.
Oh.
It was you, Tex. All along. See, I thought we made you.
You made
And
us.
the fragments. Well, that's not the case. You made us.
Oh my
When the Alpha was
God!
created, you just kind of came along for the ride. You gave the director the idea that he could make something more. That he could split the Alpha up. Don't you get it? You were the memory. You were the key. You were so strong. You made a whole other person. God. He always wanted to find you. You know, to get you right. To just see you one last time. And he wanted me to be able to do the same. To find you in here, or just go down another iteration. Figure out this little text problem. Figure out how to do it right. But now I know.
Oh my God.
I know how to fix all of this. How to end it once and for all. It was so simple all along. I just had to tell you 3 words.
I love you.
3 words I wasn't capable of telling you before.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. Are you gonna say I love you?
No, Tex. No.
I hate you.
I'm not gonna say I love you.
I'll miss you.
I'm gonna say I forget you. I forget you.
What? No! No!
I'm letting you go. Okay, world. Do your fucking worst. 'Cause I sure as hell just did mine. It's opening! It's working!
Caboose! Caboose!
What the fuck was that? I see that! It's okay!
Is that Caboose? Is Caboose God? I mean, I can kind of see it now.
Oh my God! He gave
Sure
her
would explain
up.
the fuck out of the platypus. Well, that's just great. Caboose is God. I guess that makes me the first person in the universe that doesn't want to go to heaven. Great job, Blue
Caboose
Team.
is God.
Find a way to make everything suck. What?
Ah! Sarge is God too, apparently.
Sarge? What are you doing up there?
Oh
What?
my
Is that me?
God!
Wortley? Why
What
am
is
I
gonna
talking to the
happen
blue?
now?
Attention, enormous version of myself! I order you to attack!
No! The memory unit isn't dying!
They're
Is it the
opening
end of
it.
the world? It's a fucking rescue mission!
Yep.
No!
We'll get him out
What do
there!
you mean no?
No, stop! Stop it! Leave me here!
No!
Our next phase is ready to begin, Carolina. We will be asking you to do a great many things.
I'm ready, sir.
Some of these things might be questionable.
I'll do whatever it takes.
Wow, look at her.
You've given me everything. I would do anything for you.
No!
2 AI.
Why? Why did you do it? Church, you're alive! Yeah, I knew it!
Where are they? They're in the UNSC!
Yeah, we could get you out!
How did you get here?
We're square, Blue. We helped you get your shiny blue buddy out, so that makes us...
What are you doing here? Saving you? We found you in the place where they were keeping you. We traveled a really, really long way to come to this place and fought a bunch of people and then fought a bunch
Where's
of
everybody
people,
else?
And then we got you and took you and saved you in the end. But why would you do that? Why?
Well, clearly it wasn't to hear thank you.
Around here. Thank you? You fucked everything up. I was at peace. I had it figured out. It was over. Put me back.
Put you back. Buddy,
Tex
we
is
just
gone
fought through
now,
an entire
though.
military base to reach you. And now you want to go back?
Yes!
He set her
Except we
free.
need you. She was the one who knew how to get you out.
She.
Who are you talking about? Tex? The real Tex? Tex? No, not Tex. The new lady.
New lady?
Hey there, Alpha. Been looking for you for a long time.
Oh my
Now
God!
that I found you, you're gonna
help me do what I should have done years ago. You're gonna help me kill the director.
Oh my god! I'm fucking done, dude! Carolina's alive? How? All the freelancers lost their AI. I thought the meta killed everybody. Holy shit! Carolina found them. Kill the director? Like what? The director's still alive? Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, because the meta... Okay, yeah, I'm an idiot. Holy shit! So her and Washington are the only freelancers around, at least right now. Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! I was like, wait, who? What lady? I thought all of them died. I thought Carolina... I could have sworn Wyoming and Tex had a conversation, like in season 5 or something, and he was like, oh, your buddy Carolina. And she was like, she was already dead. Right? Like, I thought the meta killed every freelancer that he took an AI from. So, like, did she survive? Did she fake her death? Did she camouflage into the background so he didn't see her? Like no, he took her armor ability too. Holy shit! Carolina is alive! I cannot believe that. I was not expecting that. I thought it was gonna be like CT or something, right? Because we saw like the armor of CT in the desert, and I was like, maybe she's still around somehow, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness. And she wants to kill the director? When she literally just finished saying, I would do anything for you. And he was like, you know, the things we're gonna do might be questionable, right? Like, we might kill people, and we might torture artificial intelligence, and... I mean, it depends, like, how scorned she is now, right? Like, and she was his #1. Or was before Tex came around. And Tex is gone. Church set her free. Oh my god. Oh man. I can't believe it. I was like, I love you. I miss you? Like, what 3 words? I forget you. Because you're the memory. And as long as I remember you, it's never gonna end. Wow. What a great fucking finale, dude. What a great finale. I really don't know if I have anything to add in terms of the review, because I did these long-winded, you know, discussions every week. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know, like, what does this mean for the second half of Project Freelancer? Are we only getting the past? Are we getting the past and the present, now in the real world? Alpha's still around. Carolina's in the picture. The director's gonna be relevant now, it seems. Carolina knows everything, I think. You know what I mean? Like, the past has happened already. She, you know what I mean? She's the key to everything because, you know what I mean? Like, she was his #1, so she's probably very much in the highest point, like, the good graces. And I don't know what that means for Tex. Like, is Tex gone? Like, I think Tex is, like, gone forever. He just set her free forever, and then he got brought back, instead of going with her. And I think he did that because he thought the end was happening. Fuck, man! That's so... That's so disappointing. Not disappointing, like... Like, I don't know, like... bittersweet, I think, is the better word, because it's like the story's still not over for him. He still has to go through so much more. And this whole thing with the director, I have no idea. I didn't even know he was still relevant at this point, like in the present, like the past, obviously. And he's no longer the director, you know, he's just Dr. Leonard Church now, or Leonard Church, or whatever you want to call it. Shit. Holy fuck, Carolina's alive. Like, that's like revolutionary to me. Like, that's crazy. I thought she died. It said that she died, and she's still alive. And now they have to catch us up with what's been happening. Carolina led them all the way there. Carolina led them all the way to find where Epsilon was. So it's like, what has happened since season 8? Right? Like, what's happened since then? Where's Washington? Where's the other Reds and Blues? You know? Where is what's up with the chairman of the UNSC? What's up with Chert? Like, the director. Wow, man. And we just got the little tidbits of the AI with Delta being created. Oh, fuck. So, my God. I have to let this sit. Thank God this is the last reaction I'm doing before RTX, so I can take a little bit of a break to kind of sit back and let this sink in, because this is crazy. This is insane. But yeah, I will definitely let this sit. I don't know if I'm going to do a Season 9 review at this point, because I have been doing these like, anything that I mention in the review is just going to be reiterated from what I've already kind of fully expanded on in my reactions. But, shit, dude. Season 10, the second half of Project Freelancer. We're obviously most likely going to still get more backstory of the creation of the AI, the freelancers who receive them, what happens to those who don't receive them, like South and CT, who seems to be a traitor at this point, and most likely relevant current scenarios that are happening in the real world now that the capture unit is no more. But goddamn, what a great fucking season finale. I'm also thinking about doing a reaction to the soundtrack, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So that might be coming into play after I come back from RTX, which is in a couple weeks. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks for the return of Red versus Blue. Take care.